solo trip to Japan, I decided to upgrade to premium economy with United, and it was for a 13.5 hour flight from Newark Airport to Tokyo Haneda. And I wanted to share my experiences with you all because personally, I'm terrible at the points and miles game, and I am too broke for Polaris. I walk by those beds and they look amazing, but I don't quite have the money for them. However, I happened to get lucky and was able to swing a premium economy seat. And I wanted to talk about United's premium economy product with you all if you're on the fence about upgrading. So, full disclosure, whether or not you want to upgrade for a flight is very personal. For some people, spending a couple extra $100 or spending 100,000 points is well worth it to upgrade to first class or Polaris class, as it's known with United Airlines, which is the airline I fly because I'm near a major hub. Yeah, for some people, it's just like worth it to have that extra leg room to travel in a bit more comfort. But for other people, they would rather use their money on the ground. So I personally can't put a dollar value on this. I know everybody is different. As for me, full disclosure, I am a nervous flyer. I've talked about it on my blog. I've talked about it on this channel. I've even talked about it on a few podcasts. I just don't do very well when I get caught up in turbulence. And again, the flight to Newark to Haneda was long. It was about 13 and a half hours, which is a very long time to be on a plane, especially if you're like me and just don't do well with being on an aircraft. So for me, I decided to spend the couple extra $100 was worth it. And this video, not sponsored at all. Even though I have status with United, it's silver status, which, let's be real, it's like no status. If you're flying out of New York, I cannot compete with consultants who travel the world. I just can't do it. So I am not sponsored. United doesn't know who I am. They do not care. So I'm hoping that this will be a very honest review of the product, and I hope that I can help you determine whether or not it's worth spending the money on. You may decide that premium economy sounds great and you want to fly that class, but you may be like, I'd rather save my money, and that's cool too. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about United's premium economy cabin. Upon arriving at Newark, the first place I went was the United Club. I'm a bit of a spoiled brat, and I do have a credit card that allows me lounge access. And the United Clubs at Newark, I will say, are pretty nice to go to before you have a really long flight, like this flight to Tokyo Haneda. It's quiet, there's a lot of space. I was in the club in Terminal C, which is really spacious, but the one in Terminal A where the domestic flights leave are lovely and was recently redone. A side note, while upgrading on the airplane may or may not be worth it for the traveler, personally, when it comes to the lounges, especially the United lounges and the Star Alliance lounges, I think they're really nice. And if you travel alone a lot or if you travel for work, they're a really good place to decompress, especially at an airport like Newark, which can be very, very busy and very overwhelming, even for us frequent travelers who spend a lot of time there. So it's just something to consider. Overall, the boarding process was really super smooth. We were flying on a Boeing 777, and the boarding didn't take as long as I thought. As you can see, the cabin is beautiful. The seats have a little bit more room than the traditional economy cabin. Plus, I really thought that the televisions were nice. They were also a lot larger than what I'm used to in traditional economy. So, if you like to watch movies, you do have a really good screen that'll keep you occupied the entire time. And United's entertainment system is pretty good. There were a lot of movies and TV shows to choose from, so you're never really bored. I was exhausted on the flight and I really didn't have a chance to get footage of it, but the seat has a decent pitch so you can lean back. But unlike Polaris class, the seats in premium economy are not lie flat beds. They do have a little like footrest situation so you can prop your feet up. However, I will say if you are a really tall person, the footrest is kind of useless. I'm only 5'4", so I use the footrest frequently, but even for me, like it wasn't really all that great. So if you're expecting to lie completely flat and sleep, you're not going to find it in this cabin. However, you are going to have more space in your seat and a bit more pitch. So that's just something to be aware of to avoid disappointment. I know, like myself, I can't sleep on planes whatsoever. And on this flight over to Tokyo, even though I was quite tired, I didn't get a wink of sleep. Now, if you're somebody who can sleep on planes, having that extra room may help. But for me, it really didn't do all that much, to be honest with you. One perk that you do get by upgrading is a little care package from United. In particular, I love this blanket from Saks Fifth Avenue. It was super duper cozy and I loved it. You'll also get some other nice items such as an eye mask, you'll get compression socks, earplugs, anything that you need to make the flight more comfortable. I didn't get a chance to film it, but United also provided noise canceling headphones, which was super nice because I don't like listening to the engine of the plane being a nervous flyer. I thought it was a really nice perk and I could just like sit there and watch the movies and not bring my own headphones with me. So the little care package, really nice bonus of flying premium economy. As for the service, I thought it was quite nice, particularly during meal service. You get actual plates and silverware as opposed to just plastic. I think the food is the same that they serve in the economy class, so that's nothing to write home about. But having that silverware was nice, and I did think that I got a little bit more personalized attention from the flight attendants being in premium economy, so that was pretty cool. It probably wouldn't be worth it for me if it was a 2 hour flight, but for 13 and a half hours, the little extra attention really went a long way for me. Overall, I thought flying premium economy with United was a good product. Is it worth the upgrade for you? Well, it really depends. For me, since it was such a long flight, I did like having the extra leg room. I liked having the bigger TV. I liked having meals that were served with actual silverware. I won't lie, that was kind of bougie. So it was definitely nice that way. Some things, though, that I didn't find quite so worth it is this is going to sound really weird, but I thought that we would have a private bathroom, but we actually had to use the one in economy class, so we had to walk quite far back to more the back of the plane to use it. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I'm not like a complete jerk or anything, but for some reason I just thought we would have our own bathroom, but whatever, not a big deal. It's just something to expect if you're flying premium economy. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good product. It's a nice happy medium from economy to Polaris. So if you don't want to shovel out all sorts of money for Polaris, then premium economy is a good compromise. Just don't expect the same like level of comfort as you would in Polaris class. Like I said, with the footrests, they're nice if you're short, but I still think if you're a tall person, they're going to be kind of useless. And even there's a bit more pitch. The lie back isn't exactly the same as in Polaris. One last thing I do want to add. On the way home, I did not upgrade. Instead, I just sat in the exit row. And on the 777, there's a lot of space at the exit row because you're right by the bathrooms. It's almost like you're sitting in your own living room. And I will say, if I had a choice between sitting in the exit row of economy and sitting in one of those middle seats in premium economy, because how the cabin's set up, at least on my plane, you had two and then four seats in the middle. If I was in one of those middle seats, I would actually probably go with the economy seat with the exit row because I could get up and down as much as I wanted to. So that's just something I wanted to share. So I would definitely, if you're thinking of booking premium economy, check the seat map first. It's definitely worth it for an aisle or a window. But if you're in a middle seat, I don't know, it may not be quite as worth it, to be completely honest with you. Guys, so that's all for me today. I really hope this helps you decide whether or not you want to spend a little bit more to fly premium economy. Again, I don't know your budget. It's entirely up to you whether or not you think that this is worth it. For me, it was a really nice way to travel to Japan for the first time. I did like that the flight attendants looked out for me because, again, I'm a bit of a nervous flyer. And the seats were comfortable and the care package was nice. So if you have the money to spare and you want to give it a try, go for it. But if you'd rather spend your money on other things, I wouldn't blame you for doing that either. So I hope this video gives you a bit more insight to what United's premium economy is like, and I'll see you in the next one. So enjoy your travels and feel free to reach out with any questions. I'd be more than happy to help. All right, guys, take care. See you in the next video.